So hello and welcome back to Test Drive Thursday. Today we're taking a look at a Freightliner Columbia. Now I've never seen one of these trucks before in American Truck Sim, so I'm pretty excited to give it a go. So let's start by taking a look at all of the customization. So as you probably saw, this truck is available from the Peterbilt dealer, and yeah, here we are inside the truck configurator. So there's 5 different cabins to choose from. All are $10, so it won't be too expensive for you. We've got the Columbia Low. In fact, there's 2 Columbia Lows and 2 mid-roof. That's confusing. But Columbia Low with just the 2 standard small aero fins on the side. It's very sleek, that I like it a lot. And you still get the same size sort of sleeping area, obviously apart from the height, as the raised roof. Which is kind of nice. Then you've got the low with the aero piece. The thing I don't like about this is the exhaust. It's slightly too tall. For this one, it sticks out that just little bit, and I wish it sort of tucked in a little bit better. So yeah, I was about to say if you're doing this on a budget and can't afford the raised roof, but since they're only all the same price, it doesn't really make much difference. But from the low you can go up to the mid roof, so you get a little bit extra headroom. I'm not sure if this is modelled, if this is modelled inside. Let's just have a look. So if we go for low, go inside, yeah, you can see that definite flat roof. If we go for mid roof, yeah, you can definitely tell you get all this storage up here. Got a TV back there as well, so I'm guessing they're aircon controls and speaker controls. And then you got obviously the mid roof. What is that? No idea what that is. Mid roof with the aero piece, which I don't like, and I think it actually yeah, if you look at that, if you look at the it's going to be hard to show this for reference, like here, and then we go for the raised roof. You can tell, or you can see how the mid roof with the aero piece is actually taller than the raised roof, and it looks so weird. You get like this bit sticking up, this bit sticking up, and then this sort of swooping around. There's so many different shapes going on in this area. It just looks weird, that one. I think the mid roof on its own looks pretty nice. I definitely prefer it to the sort of low, and then obviously you got the raised roof with the windows and obvious greater room. It's quite tinted as well. Look at that, like a blue tint. We got bunk beds back here as well. I'm not sure what that is, more storage. It's pretty cozy back here though, even though it's quite low res. I just wish in this game you could sort of park up and sleep in the back of your truck. It'd be so nice. But yeah, you still get that TV. I'm not sure if it operates. We'll see in a bit. On the chassis, you only get the 6x4. There's quite a few engine options looking at this. I mean, you start down with a 370. I don't think there's any lower than that. And I think the maximum is what? I think 665 here, this Detroit diesel with 2,500 Newton meters. This cat here has got a little bit more torque, and same as this ISX as well. So yeah, plenty of engine options for you. Also plenty of transmission options. We've got, I'm not sure if, I wish you could filter by how many speeds it's got. That'd be really useful. We got 10 speeds. Oh, I think we got 110 speed. Yeah, 110 speed. I don't think that comes with the retarder, which is a bit of a shame. You get a 12 speed with or without retarder, and then you get I don't know, about a million different 18 speeds. I mean, how are you meant to tell which one's different? Overall ratio 19.73. Yeah, I wish that was a bit easier to navigate and choose between, because the prices are actually slightly different in some cases. But yeah, I'll probably just go for the 12 speed. Interior, as I said, it's not the highest res thing in the world, but it's not too bad. The wheel's a bit rubbish, but the actual dash is actually okay. Colours, sort of what you would expect really. You got a custom colour, custom metallic colour. But yeah, let's go on to the options. There's a fair amount of options, not loads, but it's a fair amount. Starting off down here, you can remove the bumper if you want. So you've got paint with this sort of chrome strip here, which is pretty nice. You got full plastic, full paint, custom, which is you get these like little, I don't think they're air vents. I'm guessing you're meant to put lights in there, but yeah, it's very chrome. And then you get chrome with this bull bar. Now I'm a bit confused by this because it just doesn't quite look right, if you ask me. Like I'm not sure if the bar is actually meant to sit in the bumper. I don't know, I just feel like it's too far back. Like it's clipping a bit, but I'm not sure about that. So I'm probably just going to go for either this one or this one. But moving on, you can put an oversized load on there, which is nice. Warning flags, warning flag. Oh, here's where you can change the lights, and I've never seen this before on Euro Truck or American Truck Simulator. I'm not sure if it's done on purpose. Well, you can remove the lights if you want. Looks like a racing truck or something. But the lights are actually sort of fogged up. Like, you know how sort of older vehicles, like the lights start to get a bit yellowy and sort of fogged up. This is actually modelled in here because this is a 2005 truck, so you'd sort of expect it. And it looks so realistic and sort of used, which I really like. And also, if you can see there, they're actually indented into the body, which is so cool. I don't really like the look of the truck, but the detail that they've gone to on that is very, very nice. You can obviously change that. A few different styles here. But I think that's cool. I've never really seen it like that before. You can put a Columbia badge there if you want. I think it's like a chromish effect. I don't really like it, to be honest. You can actually remove the grille, which is a bit weird. But yeah, I won't go for that. Up here, you can add some side mirrors, but they decrease your FPS. And they don't look very good, in my opinion. Obviously, you got the wheels. This is where you can add some side lights, which look pretty nice at night. You can change the side skirts, different lengths, and things like that. Interestingly, the full is cheaper than a half, which, yeah, it's a bit weird. Up here, I think the rest of them are for the inside. Just try and pick the right dot. Come on, dot. There we go. You can change the sun visor. You can completely remove it if you want. Chrome, like this paint that wraps around, all sort of side painted. It's up to you which one you prefer. We've got some beacons up on the top, and I think that's pretty much it for the outside. So if we jump onto the inside, you can't change the wheel, which is a bit of a shame because it's really badly done. It's already got a built-in sat-nav, so you don't need to mess with that. Oh, I didn't spot the mirrors. Yeah, you can change your mirror styles. You get like this older style with the separate wide angle, or you can have them joined together. Up to you on that one. As I said, you can add it. Oh, it's not actually working, that. Yeah, some of these dots aren't working properly. I think it's because this mod also does work with Euro Truck. Some of the things wouldn't have been ported across correctly. But anyway, Now I'm going to do a time lapse of me building this truck to my spec. Okay then, so here it is, all fully configured. And now, even though I said about the bull bars not sort of fitting in, I just think it looks so good against all the chrome and green on this, the chrome Alcoa wheels. I think it all comes together really nicely. And as I said about the lights, look how good they look outside. They look so sort of realistic the way they're faded. It looks really nice. I mean, the indicators and lights themselves don't sort of look the best, or a bit sort of basic really, even when you pan across them. But yeah, I do think it looks really good with this green. You've got the sort of light bar up there, which looks really good. Yeah, it all comes together really nicely, doesn't it? I just love the shape of it, especially this sort of mid-roof. That works really well with a metallic colour. The back's pretty nice as well. This light arrangement, obviously you got your indicators, brake light, and then if I turn the truck on reverse in the middle, I believe there's the parking lights up there, obviously the exhaust stack. And one weird thing I'm noticing is this weird tint on the windows that sort of makes everything brighter from the outside, and when you get it on the inside it sort of darkens again. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's like a weird effect from the outside, opposite to what it should be. So that's one of the things that's letting it down. As I said, on the interior, it's not great in here. Let me just adjust my seating position. I think that seems about right. I just need to get a bit closer, maybe just to fill the view like that. Let me just move the microphone, sorry. But yeah, as I said, the wheel's rubbish. I mean, the Freightliner logo on it looks backwards. The textures are just terrible, but the dash is actually pretty good. I mean, some of the writing over there isn't readable, but some of it is, so it's a bit odd. I like the animations. I like the cable for the sat-nav that's plugged into the cigarette lighter. You don't see that. You just see sat-navs just wirelessly plugged to the window, and you can just drive for hours without them running out of battery. But that's really nice and detailed the way that is. The sort of twisted cord, it looks so good and realistic. And then you got a mug in there, a Nokia phone. Some of the sort of controls for the aircon and stuff, they're all sort of 2D, which is a bit of a shame. The seats are not too bad from a distance, but when you get up close they're a bit low res. CB radio up there. The headlining's alright actually, that's pretty well done. Back there, as I said, the bed's low res. I'm not sure if that TV comes on, doesn't look like it. Maybe if I change the system. No, it doesn't look like it turns on. Yeah, it's a bit low res around there, so I think it definitely could do with a general sort of upscaling quality. Yeah, as I said, the rest of the interior is alright. If we turn the lights on, I do like the backlighting, that green sort of backlighting around the edge of all the dials. Obviously you've got the display with the green writing. I'll probably keep it on that. I do actually like the way the dials are integrated, the way they sort of overlap is pretty cool. Obviously we got an auto Eaton Fuller 12 speed, so let's turn the brake off and get going. I went with a 450 horsepower, I think, ISX engine. So we'll see how we do with that. Obviously I've recently been driving the Tesla truck, so this will feel, I don't know, decades behind. Well, it literally is a decade and a half behind, but I just feel too low. I can't get the seating position right. I'm finding that recently, like the seating positions in these trucks are just doesn't seem right. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like my seating position in real life or the angle of the Trackir, but it just didn't seem right. The height of that door frame just seems a bit too high if you look at it compared to the top of the wheel, and where the mirrors are as well, they seem too low. So I'm not sure if it's just a model or if it's me. I've just noticed that tiny window down there. What use is that? That's stupidly small. You can hardly see anything out of that because half of it's blocked by the seat. But yeah, it sounds good, this engine, doesn't it? That really sort of throaty sound. I like it a lot. You don't get that with the Tesla. Oh, helps if I do a good gear shift. Picks up speed pretty nicely as well. It's pretty linear with the power delivery. I believe it's got over 2,000 Newton meters of torque, so that's plenty for pretty much everything in this game. I just love all these sort of sounds it makes. When you sort of lift off, it goes whoo. It's pretty cool. Is that guy gonna go? Let's see how it accelerates when we when the lights change. But doesn't it look good in this metallic colour? I mean, all the lights and everything. I think we could probably turn the lights off. Just looks really, really nicely done. Obviously, there's some of the textures that aren't great, but I think if this was, as I said, upscaled a little bit more, this would be a great mod. But yeah, 6th gear. Even this 450, I mean, plenty of power there. Obviously, it's not Tesla stupid fast, but you don't really need to go that quick either. One thing that I found with the Tesla, it wasn't a very relaxing truck to drive, even though you'd think so, because you just want to race everyone away from the lights. So you never really drive it sort of slowly and carefully, I found anyway. With something like this, you can drive it a little bit more gently. You don't feel urged to push it. And also with the Tesla, it was very sort of reactive to the throttle pedal. Like the slightest of movements and you were sort of gone. But with this, you can make a lot more careful adjustments, giving it a lot more relaxed driving style. I mean, I just can't get over how good this looks in this paint scheme. It's probably over reflective. You can say that about the windows on the inside. You'll probably see it when we get onto the main road. The reflections are quite bad. So if you got sort of a low spec PC, that may get annoying. You can also see the reflections on the sort of instrument cluster there, which is really unrealistic and annoying because they're quite low. Oh, I've messed that up. Didn't see that one. Let's just come over here a bit. There we go. Because it looks like the ones are only doing about 20 frames per second. So when your sort of main game is doing 60, it sort of takes away from that experience a bit. But yeah, the power delivery, that's one thing that I'm really liking about this. It's just so much easier to drive than that Tesla. It felt a bit like binary, on or off that Tesla. There's nothing in between. But with something like this, it's just so much more easy to control. Obviously you got the manual, so a bit more of a connection with the truck, a bit more challenge, which is another thing that Tesla was missing. And you just get to build up the revs in this, and it really does like to rev. I mean, we're doing what, 1500 RPM? It doesn't feel like we're revving it that high. And if we get on the interstate here, hopefully this coach speeds up, and let's put our foot down. I mean, 1500, 2000, and it likes changing just after 2000, which is quite rare for a truck, to be honest. I hate these junctions. See? Almost up to 2500. We got plenty of torque to get past that guy. I mean, and this is with the 12 speed as well. If you're in for the 18, obviously you get a lot more ratios to play with. Let's see what it's like sort of settling out on the interstate though. So we're currently doing 50. Let's put it into 12th. Yeah, that settles down a lot more. So if we probably set the cruise at 58, 3 miles an hour over. There we go. So with this engine we're doing what, about 1400 RPMs. Obviously top gear, 12th gear. If you go for 18, it'll probably settle down even more than this, probably closer to 1000. But you do get that sort of drone in the background, which obviously some people like, some people don't. It's obviously very different to the Tesla. The Tesla can be a bit boring to drive, I'm finding. I mean, there's just nothing, no sound whatsoever. But at least this definitely does have a sound. You can hear all the retarder, whistle, sort of engine rumble. It's very, very nice. Someone got pulled over there. But yeah, you can sort of see the drifting lanes a bit. You can sort of see the reflections. They're really annoying because they're quite low res as well. Probably see it up there as well. Yeah, I just hate mods that do. There's no need to have reflections on the window like that. I mean, what's the benefit of having them? I mean, maybe on the front one, but even still, it's a bullnose truck, so I don't see how it would be reflecting. It just seems a bit unrealistic to me. So if the mod author's watching, please get rid of that or make it a separate mod file. Because obviously it ruins your FPS. Especially on here, that's the worst. I mean, how could the road be reflected on that? I've got no idea. So yeah, that's one thing I don't like. Other than that, as I said, it drives pretty well. It's very easy to place on the road. It actually feels... It doesn't feel too wide. It's fairly easy to see out of. The mirrors aren't blocked by any window frames. They're quite tall as well, which I like. You get a good viewing range. I'd prefer to have the sort of non-wide angle mirror on the bottom and then the wide angle on the top. But obviously that's just personal preference. Let's turn back in this lane. Yeah, it definitely cruises quite easily. And I also like the fact that, I mean, look at that play in the wheel. And the truck isn't moving anywhere. With the Tesla that I drove a couple of weeks back, sort of this kind of movement was like that. So it's very uncomfortable to drive on a long distance. And some people might even sort of feel sick by seeing the truck sort of moving about a lot. But with this, if you got a wheel, some like tiny adjustments from you just holding it aren't going to sort of send the truck swerving in and out of lanes, which I do like. It's very easy to steer and very comfortable to drive, for at least this distance I'm finding so far. I mean, we haven't had to change down or anything, which is nice. We're doing, well, we're currently averaging 5.7 miles per gallon, which it's not great, but it's not awful either. I do like having the cruise speed and everything on there. It's very good. But it looks like we're turning off. I don't like the indicators. And the sort of icons on there, they're a bit dark. So let's just use the retarder to slow us down. What's going on here? Is he going to go, or... I'll go then. Whoa, that's really bad, the reflections on there. I feel like I'm blocking the junction a bit now, I feel bad. But yeah, look at the torque of that. 6th gear, pretty much from 5 miles an hour. 8th gear, handles that fine. 10th, again, still fine. I mean, you don't have to be constantly changing gears, which can sometimes be a pain with lower powered engines. I mean, this isn't massively powerful in American truck sim. Most of the trucks you drive are over 500 horsepower. This is what, 450, something like that, and it's got torque to pull away from pretty much any speed. Wow, that light's confusing. Which is great. I mean, 10th gear here, and there's a speed limit. Put it in 12th and it can just chill and save fuel. It's just really, really nice to drive this. Just a shame about the reflections. I think that's probably the worst bit. But yeah, to sum it up, things I don't like: reflections, sort of the texture quality in some places, the fact that the inside of the truck is really bright from the outside. Then obviously I want a little bit more customization, possibly, but I'd rather them focus on the actual textures first and improving that, and sort of getting it. Can't think. Why are we not going? Whoa, the horn's rubbish. What are you doing? It's our turn to go. What's going on here? Oh, that was good. What was I saying? Yeah, sort of focus on getting the textures sorted first, and getting it optimized for everyone. I mean, he's still not going. I mean, I don't know what he's waiting for. I'll link it in my mod spreadsheet, and the link to the mod spreadsheet is in the description. And yeah, I am enjoying driving it. I just wish some bits were sorted out. Things I do like, obviously the way it drives, it's very comfortable. I like the steering, very suited to a truck. I like the dashboard layout. I like some features like the fogged out lights. I've never really seen that before. And I think if this mod is sort of updated and everything, I think it can be a pretty good one. So I definitely recommend you giving it a go. If you like Freightliners, we don't really get that many opportunities to drive them in this game. So it's always nice to jump in one. Oh, these traffic lights. Obviously in the Tesla you can just put your foot down and away you go. It doesn't really matter. But with this, it's a bit stop and go. I mean, I just love all the chrome on it. Looks really nice. Oh, green. Wasn't paying attention. What's he doing? Woo! Whoa, how far do you have to pull out? And we're turning left. Possibly a bit indicator happy there, but there we go. And we should be turning in here, and we get to see what it's like to reverse with, which is always a good test. Don't know why I'm indicating so early. Turn right and red. Love that rule. Right, so let's turn in here. Looks like we got the difficult spot as well. And it's going to be a blindside reverse. Just straighten that up a bit. It's almost in. Wow, I can't actually see too. Actually, can't see the lines. It's too much bloom. Is that in? Yeah, there's way too much bloom on the mirrors. I mean, look at that. The comparison between that and that. You can't actually see the line. It's quite bad. But yeah, there we go. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give me a like, subscribe for more, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.